everybody, it's Diana with stampingwithdi.com. Welcome to my YouTube channel for today's Mimeograph Monday with a twist. And I'm going to be using the Blessings of Home. And I can't remember. I had part of it mounted and part of it not. So that makes me think, well, I at least used one of the stamps, but that doesn't always mean the case. And, but I think I did. Yeah, I did. I used, one of them is what I used for the tattoo. Remember, I put a tattoo on the hands, the DSP that had the hands. That's why I had it out. So that's what I'm going to be using today. So I want to make sure that you say hi when you're here. Let me know where you're from if you are new to my channel. Thank you so much for joining us. I am here Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Friday, and I go live at, it's usually live, right? Sometimes I might have to pre-tape, but it's usually live, 3 o'clock Arizona time. Now in Arizona, we do not change our clocks, so sometime your time will be different, right? So like right now, if you watched me a month ago, you might go, hey, you're on a different time. It is for you guys, but not for me. So 3 o'clock is what I usually go live at. So anyway, so Carol's here and Brenton and Rhonda and Candy. So we have a few Spring Social girls watching today. So I'm so excited. I've heard from most everybody that they've got their boxes. So I'm excited to see everybody on our Zoom on Saturday. So let me get started and stop blabbing. Hey, Teresa. Hey, Anna. All right. So let me get my phone wiggled all into the right position here. All right. A couple things to mention. Hostess Code. I always try to mention that at least once a week. And this is the Hostess Code for March. So if you're placing an order and you are a member of my stamp club, this is the code you want to use if you're ordering under 150. If you want your own code, Anna's on here. She got her own code last month. I think it was last month. And then she collected orders and got hostess benefits. So if you want to do that, make sure you let me know. I have to make your code before you place before one of the orders gets placed. So that's just important to know. You don't want to start it and then ask for it after. All right. Also, I haven't announced this yet, but now I'm telling you, I'm going to have double country rewards starting tomorrow. So March the 22nd to March the 29th. And basically what it is I have country dozen rewards. So whenever you place an order, I'll send you an email. And then I send your thank you card later, but I always send an email right away. And then in that email, it has this chart so you can keep track. And every time you place an order, $50 before tax and shipping, you earn an egg, right? So, and it's just when you get a dozen eggs, you get to pick $35 worth of stuff as a gift from me. But starting tomorrow through the 29th, when you order 50 before tax and shipping, you're actually earning 2 eggs instead of the normal 1. All right, but like I said, I haven't even announced that yet. All right, so I need to get that email out and I'll put it on my blog. Okie dokie. So this is the stamp set I'm using, is the Blessings of Home, and it actually has a matching die, which is over at my machine, but it does. It has a matching die. I'm like looking around on my desk and I didn't bring it over here, but that's okay. All right, so it has a matching die, super, super cute. All right, so that's what I'm going to be using. I'm going to be doing this card from the catalog. So I'm going to do it this way first, and then I have a twist one as well. Hey, Sharon. Hey, Sherry. All right, so that's what I'm going to be using. So let me get my pieces. Now this is the one that's like the catalog. And we are using pale papaya. Here's my little recipe so that I can make sure I'm saying the right things here. All right, so we have pale papaya as the card base. And we also are using the Heart and Home DSP, and it's a 12 by 12. So that's where I've got this white, it looks like wood, right? Like wood grain. So that's where that came from. So that's where these came from. And on the back is this. I want to say I love this paper as well, but I'm using this side. We're also using vellum. Now, what's funny is vellum was not listed on the recipe, but when I'm looking in the catalog, I'm like, there's vellum there. So there is also vellum. All right. So let's get our pieces going here. I also need my scrap. All right, there's my scrap. All right. So we're going to stamp on our pale papaya. And this is just a little piece that's going to go on the front. And we're going to stamp our little beautiful day, just tone on tone. Now you could use a Versamark pad if you wanted as well, but I'm just going to use the ink pad because that's what they used. So I'm just going to put what a beautiful day. Hey, Mary. Oh, double eggs are the best. Yes. But you want to keep track of your eggs because they do expire after a year. They get rotten like real eggs would. So you want to make sure you, when you're writing them on the chart, that you keep track and you use them up so they don't expire. All right. So I'm just putting what a beautiful day for love. Isn't that a great, nice saying? And I'm just kind of staggering all around on my card. And this is just putting this in the back of the card so that the cardstock's not plain. So I'm just tone on tone. But like I said, you could use a Versamark as well. It just wouldn't be as dark. And I'm just kind of filling in a couple of these little spots here. You're not going to see much of it. It's just adding a little bit of color on there. All right, now I'm going to wash this because I'm also going to stamp that greeting with the memento. So it's important to wash. I try to wash my stamps as soon as I'm done with them. That way when I get ready to put them away, they're already washed, they're dried, you know, just air dry from the Stampin' Mist. All right, so that's going to go in the back. I have my cardstock, and this is where we're going to stamp our flower. So I'm just using the memento. Now they used the stays on, but I'm using the memento. It used to be I used stays on all the time, but now since I'm not coloring, I'm just using the memento. So we're just going to stamp this on here. All right, let that dry a little bit. All right, I also, now that I've washed my greeting, hey Nancy, I want to put my greeting down here because I'm going to trim this out with my scissors. All right, so I'm just going to let those dry before I mess with them too much. All right. Then I also want to stamp. Now, I don't know what Stampin' Up! Did on the inside of their card, but I'm going to decorate the inside of mine. And I'm going to use the smaller little flower. And I love the look of this set. It's very hand-drawn. And I just love the sketchy kind of look to it. It's not like super, super solid, right? All right, so I'm just going to stamp this with the memento as well. I'm going to kind of come up a little bit, because I'm going to put this wood grain here. So this little flower is just kind of sticking out. Just kind of peeking out from behind the cardstock. So that's just going to go right there, and then I'll just trim the edges. I love that this one has a die, and it gives you flowers and all sorts of stuff. So it's a very cute bundle. All right, so there is that. And then I also going to use my Stampin' jig. All right, because I'm going to put the greeting on the inside that says, "You are a real blessing to everyone around you." Isn't that a nice saying too? It's just such a pretty bundle. All right. Now, I don't believe it's one of the bundles on sale. I'll have to look, but I don't think it is. I think the bundles on sale are just from the main catalog, but I could be wrong. All right. But just know that whenever a bundle comes out in the catalog, whether it be the main catalog or the mini catalog, it is only bundled that one time. So if this bundle carries over into the new catalog, which we shall be getting very, very soon. So you want to make sure if you have placed an order with me in the last 6 months of at least 50, you'll get a catalog from me. If you haven't, you still have time, because I will be getting those catalogs ordered by the end of the month. But if this carries over into the new catalog, it won't have a bundle price. So whenever you see a bundle at the beginning, you want it, you want to make sure you grab it at the beginning so that you get that bundle savings. All right, so this is the inside of the card. So let me just stick that in there just so I can get it out of my way. And then we will decorate the front of the card. All right. Hi from New York City. All right. So we're going to stick this on here. All right. So let's put this on first. Doesn't make sense to get it all stamped and pretty and then not even use it, right? All right. So this looks so cool. It's like you make your own background paper, right? All right. So now this is going to go here. I love this. I love anything that has kind of like wood grain, kind of shabby chic. So this DSP is perfect for that. So this is going to go on here like that. And then there's the vellum, right? That wasn't listed, but there's totally a piece of vellum. Now remember, when you're using vellum, you have to be careful where you put your glue. But I know where I'm going to be gluing. Like I know I'm going to be putting my focal point here. So I know I can put my glue here because that will get covered. So it just comes down just a tad. So it's offset just a little bit. But you know what? That doesn't, you can hardly see that adhesive there, right? So I just used a little bit because, you know, it's not like it's going to get blowed all over the place. All right. And then what I did earlier was I die cutted out my flowers. So see how cute that is? It die cuts it out perfectly. We also have these awesome doilies. So these are the, oh, what are these? Oh my gosh. Doilies, doilies, doilies. And I threw the little stick. Oh no, it isn't. It's right here. The Heart and Home doilies. So you've got 3 different colors. So I'm going to be using the Night of Navy one. So here you've got your 3 different colors. So I'm going to use the Night of Navy, or it could be Misty Moonlight. All right. I think it would work for both. So we're going to put our right there in the center. Not in the center, but in the center of this, between here. So we've got our doily. And I'm going to put this on with dimensionals. And I'm going to use the black dimensionals. Just because this is black. Well, not black, but it's dark. So I'm going to put dark dimensionals on there. Oh, thanks, Stacy. I didn't think it was because I think all of the ones that are on the 20% off are the main catalog. All right, so this is just going to go on here. Then we also, so this is part of the die too. These cute little flowers. So I just did green. So it called for garden green. It didn't mention Granny Apple, but there was definitely 2 different greens. So I just was like, well, that kind of looks like Granny Apple. So they're going to go here. So I know also where that's going to go. So I'm just going to stick a couple glue dots on my card. So we've got 1 and 2. So we've got our cute little flowers there. Then I want my beautiful day, which is right there. All right, that also uses the denim ribbon. This is so fun. This is denim 3/8 inch or 1 centimeter ribbon. But what you're going to do is you are going to actually cut it. So you're going to take your scissors and we're going to cut like a real skinny. I should be cutting it this way so I can see better. Hold on a minute. So we're just going to cut the side off of it basically. So just don't cut your fingers. We're going to make a very skinny ribbon. So I should have probably did this ahead of time. So trim. I love cutting the ribbon because then you can fray it. But they made this pretty skinny, so there's not going to be a lot of fraying on this one. So just keep going because we're just going to cut enough so we can tie a bow. So just want it skinny enough. That's probably good. All right. So then I'm just going to tie. So we've basically just made ourselves a very skinny piece of denim ribbon. And I love how it frays now. So now it's got this real shabby kind of frayed look to it. And you can get some of those feathers off of there if you want. So it's got this frayed look. And it makes it super skinny. All right. And that's going to go right here. So I'm going to put that on with glue dots as well. So can you imagine how many cards you would get out of that spool of ribbon if you just kept cutting it? Oh my gosh. All right. So that's going to go right here. And look how cool the ribbon is with all those frayed edges. And then we can just peel them back, and it just makes it look so organic and looking. All right, so let's get our What a Beautiful Day. And I'm just going to trim with my scissors because I just want it to be beautiful day. Now, when I did my twist card, I did my greeting a little bit different. So we're going to go beautiful day. Right. I'm like blowing all the little ribbon things away. All right, so we've got beautiful day. Get that down here. It's going to go in there. So I'm going to put dimensionals on here too, so that I'm going to get the baby ones, so that it will straddle this. Just because we've got this knot here. It's not a big knot, but it still is a little bit of thickness that the cardstock will have to straddle. So we've got beautiful day. And then just get your tails up or down. I'm going to put that up. There we go. We're also using, let me trim this a little bit. We're also using the classic matte dots. So they have a few different colors on the card. They used black and the gray. So I'm going to do the same thing. So we've got gray. And I put an extra one on there so that I had an uneven number. You know me, I like odd numbers. Unless there was one somewhere that I missed. But there was only 6 I could see. So I did 7. So I'm just picking big and little. black and gray. So there's the one like the catalog. So let's go to the twist one. So I love coming up with a challenge. All right. So let me get that out of the way. All right. Flip this over. So we start with a nice, fresh, clean grid sheet. I also need to clean my stamp because now I'm going to stamp with the Misty Moonlight. So let me clean. So we're going to clean that. Just because I don't want to go in my Misty Moonlight with a dirty stamp. All right. And my beautiful. Got to clean that one too. All right. So now they should be dry by the time I get to them. All right. Now also what I want to use is the Memories and More cards and envelopes. I want to use those as well. So that are these. So you have this really cool, it's kind of like a gray envelope with the fun stripes. So you have your striped paper, and I thought I had a whole pack here to show. Oh, there it is. Hold on a second. Hold on. All right. So here is the pack. Oh, and there's the die. So here's the die. I left it on the other table. So there's the die. All right. So this is the Heart and Home Memories and More cards and envelopes. So you have a big card and a big envelope, and that's what I'm going to be using for my twist card. And then it also has a smaller, like note card kind of size, right? Now remember, when you send cards that are small like this, it costs more to mail like a smaller little card. So usually if I'm going to send something little like this, squares cost more too. Well, this one might not when it's small, but still I find that I would worry more about it getting lost. I would make my card and then I would put it in a regular envelope and then send it. All right. So that's what I'm going to be using. So I'm going to use the striped card in my envelope. All right. So it's already scored for you. And I'm keeping it the size that it is. I have done some where I trimmed this down, so it was a regular size card, but I'm going to keep it the size that it is. All right, so I'm going to turn it this direction. And I kept this, very similar as to it was before. But I'm going to put this on this time with some dimensionals, just so that I have a little bit of space between the two, because now we've got like more visually going on with the stripe than we did with the pale papaya. Even though we stamped, that greedy on the pale papaya, it still wasn't super visually crazy, right? Where this is a little bit more. We've got stripes here, we've got stripes here. So I'm just going to separate it just by putting dimensionals, just so there's a little bit of a space between them. Plus, as the camera or the light hits it, it will put a natural shadow line on it as well. I also trimmed this, so instead of having it hang down like the other one, I am just right in here, like evenly. Oh, you know what? Hang on a minute. Oh, that's okay. That's okay. All right. I was going to put ribbon, but I can still put. So I'm going to do the same thing as I did before. I'm going to put my adhesive where I know. Come on, adhesive. There we go. So I know that's going to get covered. All right. So then I'm going to put this. So see, I should have wrapped it before. That's okay. We're just going to stick it in here. We're going to stick it in. It should come up the other side. There it is. And we'll just tie it around. Have to cut off all those edges. All right, so now that is there. And we're just going to tie it around. So we're going to use the whole ribbon instead of just cutting it. All right. Because this is such cute ribbon that I hate to waste it. So I'm just going to tie a pretty little bow on there. And I cut this way too long, but that's okay. All right. And look, Anna, Anna's still here. I tied it upside down. All right. Trim, trim. See, look how much I wasted. All right. So that's good. I also want to do my inside. All right. And I'm going to do the flower a little differently. I'm going to turn this over. All right. So we're going to stamp the flower in Misty Moonlight. And we're going to just move the color around with a blender pen. When is the last time you used than a Stampin' blend? So I'm just going to take and stamp my flower with the Misty Moonlight. And then right away, I'm going to take my blender pen and I'm just going to pull some of the color out just on the flowers. And it's because the classic inks are water-based, so it allows you to move that color around a little bit. So it just, you're not fully coloring in the flower, but it's just going to change the look of it a little bit by doing that with the blender pen. Now make sure you don't do the leaves. So you just have to kind of look around for the flowers. And there's more than you think on the card that is a flower. So I'm just moving that around. And I'm just using the blender pen. If you use the water painter, they're just a little bit too wet because this is just the basic white ink or basic white paper. And you don't want to add too much water or it will pill, which will mean it will, you know, the paper kind of breaks. And the blender pen is perfect because it's just wet enough to move that ink around, but it doesn't really damage the paper. So see how it changed the look of those flowers? It kind of colored them in a little bit. So hopefully the camera can pick up just a little bit of a change. I love the stripes too. All right. Now what I did was ahead of time, so I cut that out ahead of time. So that was the same thing. I did all the little the lines with the blender pen. All right, and those blender pens come 3 to a pack. So if you don't have any of those, they are a great value as well. All right, so this is going to go on the inside, and we're going to do the same thing on the inside. So this is just one of these cards, and I just cut 1 inch off the side. So if you do that, you're going to lose some of your cards, but I mean, that's okay. That's not a big deal. Or if you end up trimming some of them down, you know, you can mix and match. But that way my inside matches the outside. And I don't mind using, you know, a card here and there, cutting it up. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to put my little flower on the inside, kind of peeking in off the side. So this time I put the cardstock on the edge instead of along the bottom, but I'll do the same thing. Take my blender pen and I'll just move that color around, and it just visually fills that flower in. So it's just not plain. Now you don't have to. You could totally leave it as is and it's still beautiful. But I just kind of like that look of it. Then I also want to put my greeting like we did before. So I'm going to put my greeting in there. Let's see. With my jig. All right. Hey, Dawn. All right. Make sure I don't have my greeting upside down. All right. Good. We got our greeting. Blow till it dries. All right. And then we got to do our beautiful day. And this time I'm going to use more of my beautiful day. Where is, I want to get some more scrap. Hold on a minute. So I'm going to cut this out. So I'm going to use a fresh piece so it doesn't have that flower stamped on the back. All right. So what a beautiful day. Now this time I'm going to use what a beautiful day instead of just beautiful day. So while that's drying, let me clean that real quick. All right. I also used the bigger flowers. So I used the bigger flowers this time because I have the bigger card. So I wanted to, you know, have visually bigger flowers on it. So these are part of that die as well. Let me pop those little pieces out. All right. I'm also going to use a doily. So again, I'm not changing the card like totally. We're just changing it a little bit. So I'm going to put the doily there again. I'm going to come over to the side a little bit. So it's a little bit more off to the side. So it hangs out a little bit more over here. And then I'm going to put this flower here, and I'm going to have it kind of go over the ribbon. So I'll use my dimensionals again. You don't need tons. I'm just putting a couple in the center. You can always pop one under if you feel it's a little bit too loose. So see how that you can see more of the doily. It's sticking out a little bit more. All right. And then these guys, I'm going to put them like right there. So I'm going to take my glue dots and do the same thing. Put them on with the glue dot. We'll have one there and one there, and then just lay them. Now, okay, then I want to take my greeting, but this time, like I said, I wanted to say what a beautiful day instead of just beautiful day. So I'm just going to cut straight. Now you could use your paper cutter if you wanted, but I'm just using my scissors and just fussy cutting it. It's not too bad. And if it's not perfect, it's just very organic. I like to use the word organic when things aren't perfect. All right, so that's going to go on there. So we'll use our dimensionals again. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay this here. Where's my baby dimensionals? Look, look, look. Where are they? Here they are. So I'm going to put my dimensionals on the card. So I'm like, I know I want it right here. So I know I can put one here and I can put one here. And that way it's straddled this flower like that. All right. And then instead of using the, oh, I have to put her inside. Instead of using the classic dots, I'm going to use the Bumblebee Trinkets instead. So let me stick this on the inside so I don't forget. All right. So I'm going to use the Bumblebee Trinkets. Now, they don't come in this old makeup jar. I just love to repurpose old jars, so I just stick my embellishments in cute little jars. All right, so these are the Bumblebee Trinkets, and these are in the main catalog. And they're not adhesive backed, so you just stick it on a glue dot, and you're ready to go. So I'm going to put this on my flower. So I think that that's good, right? Like that is super cute. All right, so let me show you. So here's the one I did earlier. My bow's a little bit more controlled on this one. But they look very, very, very similar, don't you think? All right. So I'll show this one just because it's a little more controlled because I didn't have an audience. All right, and then so here's the catalog one, and then here's my twist one. Now I totally could still put the classic dots on here, but I just wanted that pretty little bee on there to kind of be that focal, that shiny little bit. Oh, you could use it with so many things, right? And just that little bit of a doily peeking through. Oh, and so see here too, right? I put the doily out a little bit further so you could see a little bit of the doily. And yeah. And then here's the other one. So this one I had the ribbon a little thicker. And what I mean about, see, watch. So this is that ribbon. So let's say I cut it over here more. All right, so let's see, we're going to cut it over here a little bit just to show you. And what I like to do is I love to fray stuff. It's very messy, but look how cool. Look at the effect that you get when you fray the ribbon. Because then you have the denim ribbon up on top, and then you have this white, like, this frayed edge all along the bottom. Like, look at that. Isn't that cool? So always, so now it's like a two-tone ribbon. So see, that would look cute too. So always like mess around with your stuff. Let me turn the phone around. So, play around. Oh, it would look great with the sunflower, and the sunflower is on special. So I should have used that, but I wanted to kind of keep with the same stamp set, for, the twist at least, right? But, so it definitely would. I hope it carries over too, Stacy, because I just love that. And I haven't played enough with it. And so we should be knowing the retired list very soon. And that's always exciting and sad at the same time, right? Because there's always that thing that you go, what? How can you be getting rid of that? But anyways, so you like the twist? Cool. Yeah, if you did the sunflower, it would look cute with the stripes too. And then you could, I was going to color the flowers in. I thought, you know what? I haven't used the blender pen in ages. So I thought that would be a cute. Maybe, you could do that with the blender pen. All right, so I'm going to say, do not miss. I put a little sneak peek in our Facebook group, our Stamping with Dye Facebook group. So if you're not a member, please make sure you pop over there and join that. I put a cute little sneak peek for my Teach Me Tuesdays episode 120, which is tomorrow. I am so excited to share. I'm like looking at it right now. It's over on my hutch and it is so cute. So anyways, so you don't want to miss that. So it'll be 3 o'clock Arizona time, same channel. All right. And if you have any questions, make sure you let me know. And then I will put the size down underneath. It just takes me a little bit to get that done. But if you have any question, always holler at me. Okay. All right. So I have a great night. And Thanks for joining me today. All right. Bye for now.